Thank you for everybody being here and welcome us into your lives. This was quite an experience for me to be part of this group of people. And we had not many times, I was not at every meeting, but the times that we were together, we had so much fun. And there's always a good feeling when I get here. It's always a feeling of happiness. And this is so far away from work. When we are together, you put it right at the back of the yard, and you don't even go there. So I want to thank you for that, and especially PFP for taking me in on as a principal. It was I was one of those people that I don't know how Symphonia's things happens to be emailed to me, but I started going to some of the courses that you have, Melissa, you will know, and then when I get to, let's say, time to think, it was 2 or 3 years ago, then I meet these people and they have so much fun, and the relationships, and then I start asking about, but what are you doing? And then I learned from PFP. This is how I started off. And then after the third or the fourth time that I attend some of that, I start pushing. You know, I want to be part of this because this seems like fun, and you can see the relationships building between the principals and the partners is really something that lightens the load of the principal. You engage differently, and I think it's a very alone place. Dit is soos verneekpan so groot. Dis ek nie daar bo. Sorry for my Afrikaans, but this is the place you never see nothing for so far in your life. You have to go to verneekpan. So yes, this is the thing that sometimes you feel so alone up there, and you don't know if nobody teach you how to be a principal to start off with. You're here, congratulations, all those things, and then you just have to do it. So I started at Chere Botha 17 years ago, and we were so then we were on 3 different premises. One part of the school, we started off in Herbert Street, now in Van der Stel, with the Downs Association of the Western Cape. So it was a private school, and there were 28 learners in the school, and then they told me they want to shut the school down. Denville, you never heard that. And because we are too small, it's also the same type of school as Denville. We have learners we started off with learners with Down syndrome and learners with intellectual disabilities. And then in 2008 we also started taking in learners with autism. So then we moved to Herbert Street, and then from there we moved to an area in Stikland Hospital, the old Stikland Hospital. So then we were spread in Bellville like verspreide donderbye. Hier's 'n bietjie, daar's 'n bietjie. So this is a massive thing to do, but in the end it grows, like Denville said, according to the need of the community. And this is so. Yeah, 2 years ago we started. I still were the first one that is, and we received this open land in the beginning of 2016. That was the first picture taken with a handover of the site. So 9 years ago, it's now 9 years ago. Somebody tells me that they are going to build a school, and 7 years later, we got the plot, and then they start last year in February. We did the handover, and this is the new school, almost finished now. But when you get into meetings with people that are working on a contract, they will say, so a person from head office were there in the last meeting, and she said that, they put so much pressure on the Western Cape Education Department for this school in Bellville that they only sign off, and now you have this immaculate school. So sometimes pressure from the outside will hand you the best, and that's what happened to us. So from 2016 till now, our logo was changed from Together We, that's wrong there. It's Together We Can Cope become together we can. So we took out the cope because cope is so disabling. So now this is where we are. And then in the beginning of the year, Hans, did you contact me first? I can't remember, with an email, and I have a partnership. And he couldn't come at the time that I was at my lowest. You know, you are so happy. It's like you are so glad you have this baby. You show it to everybody, and then the sleepless nights and everything that happens after, and you get sort of run down. So when we met, I was really get at the stage of burnout. So we had good chats, and I think Hans feel at some cases that it doesn't mean a lot, because we start off with, we don't know really what we want to achieve. We were struggling, finding our feet. What should we do and how should we do it? But being there for me and sharing experiences, starting his own business and everything that happened in the business, and how he and his partner shift responsibilities, and sometimes you lead and sometimes I lead. This is the best thing that happened to me. I delegate more easier. Flawless consulting, time to think. I'm using one of the lady that's acting as the deputy principal at the moment as a thinking partner. So because you want to carry it over to the rest of the staff members now. So yes, you can just move on. So this is just a small summary of what the school, and this is the new building, but it's nearly finished now. The whole state of art, really. We hope we will make money with this. And these are the areas between the classes. It's big and open, and we can use it as extra teaching space. Because sometimes children have a meltdown and they just need to run a little bit. So it's close on both ends, and we have a lot of space in between. But one of the things that developed also at the end of last year is games, board games. And you know, the people in Europe, they know how to play board games. And we started last year in buying board games, so that is also something that Hans shared with me. And today his wife made me some toys. So what we can't buy, we just duplicate, and we make things, learning material that has also a learning and a fun aspect. These are the fundraising casual day. We are all dressed up for casual day. This is the big fundraiser of the year. You can go on. And these are all the learners in the different classes and of the different campuses, different age groups. The children with the highest support is where I am, in Herbert Street, sort of in the middle, because it's the safest place and the runners can't get out there. And these was the donations of gloves. A group of ladies knitted gloves for the learners for winter time. And this is a home program. We start seeing children from the age of 3, and also children that's already school-going age but can't find a place in the special needs sector. So we give home programs. The parents bring the child, and we work with the parent and the child. But unfortunately, the Western Cape Education see this not as a good. They can call it an outreach, but we receive no funding from them for this program. But we have, due to this, we have this nice resource center with all the games and the toys. We call it the toy library, but it's all the things that we can use to enhance learning and to assist the learners and the parents. You can go on. And this was our fashion show with all the children that's on the home program that part. And this year it was last year's focus, it was in the jungle. So everybody dressed up, and the parents and all of us has a lot of fun in the morning, normally a Saturday morning. Yeah. And this is how, when we had enough water a few years ago. Yeah. And this is where we are. Yeah, another casual day. we go big or we go home. We become our children. Yeah, so I must thank you all for the opportunities this year to take part in all the training, and Hans for all your wisdom. Thank you for that.
There wasn't much there.
No, but it was there. Thank you.
Yeah, my journey started off strange. We all agree education is important, and I joined PFP with the understanding that roughly 80% of the schools are defunct in South Africa, and like every normal business, it starts on top. So if you want to improve something, you've got to improve the top. So helping the principals cope better in managing the schools to me made absolute sense, and partnering them up with businessmen whose job it is to manage businesses makes therefore good sense to me. And I thought, all right, let's do it. I'm an engineer, so if you want to improve, you first need to measure what the status is, and then have a yardstick and say, right, that's where we are and that's where we end up. So I asked Nikki, can I please see what's the matric results of the school that I'm going to get, or what are we going, how low are we now, and what yard do you have? Do you look at matric, or do you look at standard 8, or do you look at grade 4, or doesn't matter, give me a yardstick so we can see how big the problem is. And Nikki was very reluctant to give me those figures. And then I met Joey the first time. It was on this, you talked about the start stop. It must have been at a stop point, because we were the only two people in the first LC20 meeting.
Yeah.
We are the pioneers, eh? There was nobody. And Nikki said, well, you can start talking while the rest is coming. Yeah. And when the meeting was over, it was still us building relationships. Now, and then, Nikki had told me, she really, a couple of times insisted, Hans, for the first 3 months, all you need to do is build a relationship. Hold back. Don't tell. Don't run the school. Don't manage. Your job is not to manage the school. That's Joey's job. Your job is to support. And in order to support her, you first have to gain her trust. And slowly or quickly, she will start to come up with problems and involve you. So I was holding back all the time. And until I realized Joey is looking strangely at me, wondering, what's this guy doing? He's doing nothing, actually. And then I told her, do you know that this was my instruction? So Nikki, maybe you should have told her, listen, he's going to hold back, until you tell him to. So right now, I'm still on hold. The next shock was, then in the first meeting I said, well, what are you aiming for, and what pass rate? And then there was a silence. And she says, Hans, you don't understand, this is a special needs school. If the children can brush their teeth and do the toilet and everything by the time they leave the school and didn't have a meltdown that day, we are extremely happy. Wow. So that made me realize, hang on a second, I've got to readjust here. This is totally different to what you come in there and you want to change the education system in South Africa, and you don't realize that, hang on a second, there are lots of people that need to be educated. Not everybody is at the academic level. And that was, the first visit to the school was a real mind shifter from my side. My wife was present as well. That was good, because we could then exchange thoughts thereafter. And I realized that there are people in this country that are extremely dedicated, because to run schools like that, you need very, it's not a special needs school, it's a special people school that run those schools. And then later, when I met the circle and so on, which circumstances you have to manage, what you need to manage, I just thought, wow. If one talks about education in this country, there is much more behind it than competence of principals. There is a massive issue here. So that was the realization. But I must tell you, I think either we are a very special circuit, leadership circuit here but I don't think you're part of the 80% that don't perform. Or if you are, it's not because of you. None of you. I haven't met a principal here that can't manage. You don't need us to help you manage. You can manage. What you need is different things. Maybe, I'm not sure, it's a perception, maybe we should look upwards when it comes to management skills and upskilling and so forth, because all of you have the same issues with the same departments. So maybe one can work upwards there. So my closing words to you is, guys, you are one hell of a lot of your principals that manage very well. And as far as Joey is concerned, I don't think she needs management skills. She needs a lot of help otherwise, but you don't need management help.
Thank you.
So firstly, to the pioneer,
Yeah.
you
Thank
stoically arrived and sat there, and despite the fact that there was nobody else arriving, you just took it as, that's fine. And we had we called it a soft launch.
Yeah.
And then the real launch happened here with a few more people. And you came along anyway. Whether you knew that there were going to be people there or not, and you have remained committed and engaged with the school and worked really hard to find out what your offering was.
Yeah, but there's food whenever.
What this conversation has highlighted for me is whenever we got together in the leadership circles and whenever I connected with each of these individuals, there was an amazing sense of humor that emerged throughout. And I don't know if you've had a taste of that. They are working very, very hard to do a number of things on a number of levels, and the sense of humor just keeps coming through. And in honoring you with a certificate, Joey,
I will take this one with me. Thank you.
in honoring you with that certificate, it really is amazing, and I want to echo your words. The principals in this room and all the principals that they represent are incredible individuals. Every single time I left a conversation, I left an engagement with you, I thought, wow, everything else around me is so much easier to deal with. What my challenges, the stuff that I deal with, are minuscule compared to the things that you wake up, powerfully go into work every single day. And you're actually the reason why all of us have got to where we are. Because somewhere along the line, all of us have had a principal. Somewhere along the line, all of us have had a teacher. And because of the way that you've dedicated yourself to this work, we're able to do the work that we do. So thank you very much. And thank you very much to everybody.